Hello everyone, I'm Jaideep Singh Chahal. We've got a very interesting candidate to continue with the interesting and different vehicle series for us. So this is what I feel is going to complete the entire 100 series family which is there in the group. So as of now, we've got a V8 Cygnus petrol, we've got 2005 facelifted manual, and we've got a auto from 2003 with the locking desk, and we've got a 2003 manual with locking desk, all diesel, just one petrol V8. So this is the missing brother. This might look like a regular 100 series or a 101, but that is where the similarity ends. This is a 105, very rare, not that commonly found in India. So it is basically what this vehicle is. It is the chassis of an 80 series, running gear of an 80 series, fixed upon with with the shell of a 100 series. So with the with the coming of 80 series frame, the most interesting bit is if you can come around the front. So this has a solid axle in the front. That is where it all changes. So this vehicle is actually uh, this is more of an 80 series and less of a 100 series, I would say. This came out right after the 100 series was brought in, and it had an independent front suspension. Independent front suspension is something you see in the modern day Fortuner, Hilux, Isuzu, even the 100 series Land Cruiser. So that definitely was better for on-road comfort, but it did not give enough articulation and not as tough or as rugged as a solid axle, just the way it was on the 80 series. So with this, what has happened is uh, Toyota was able to retain the tough live axle setup front and rear, which is the most practical and easy to repair in case of a breakdown as well. So this is practically a Jimny type suspension, I would say. Coil springs in the front, coil springs in the back, and solid axle front and rear, which is the most bare bones but yet the most reliable form of a 4x4 setup that we can have. Other than that, this is a diesel variant. These came in both petrol and diesel. This is a diesel variant, inline 6 4.2 NA. So this is a non-turbo vehicle. So definitely it is slow, but very powerful. Always has ample amount of torque anywhere in the RPM range. So the non-turbo is something, once you're used to it, once it grows onto you, you really like the way these vehicles move, even in slow traffic, because you don't have to wait for anything to spool. Any RPM, any gear, there's always enough power to chug along. So this has the 1HZ, which is the NA 4.2 inline 6 diesel engine, and it has a 5-speed manual gearbox. So other differences with the 100 series, why we'll try to differentiate it from a 100 series is because it looks like a 100 series. What goes on the ladder frame is not really very visible. So how this is different from the 100 series is, the 100 series is an all-time 4x4. So if you see the 4x4 transfer case lever, it only says high or low. It does not give you the option of going into a 2H mode. So this, on the other hand, it has a 2 high, it has a 4 high, and it has a 4 low as well. So this is different from, that is how this is different from the 100 series. This can run as a 2-wheel drive and can also run as a 4-wheel drive. So I would like you to bring the camera a little closer. This right here is a freewheeling hub. So what this does is, this makes the 4x4 even more basic. The early model Gypsies, when they were launched in India, they also came with the same brand. This is a Toyota subsidiary called Aisin that specializes in a lot of fixed running gear like transmission, freewheeling hubs, a lot of ABS components and stuff like that. So these are by Aisin, and this can basically free your front axles or axle shaft. So what this does is your front wheels are spinning free, so the load comes off the steering and it also comes off the transmission. So you run lighter, better gas mileage, and definitely a better life for your 4x4 setup as well. So in this vehicle, to go into 4 high, just the lever won't do it. These hubs, they have to be turned. If you can see, it says free right here and lock right there. So this will go there and it turns clockwise to bring the marker on locked, and this will happen on both the sides, and only then you can engage 4x4 from the 4H lever. Also, unlike the 100 series, all 100 series, as we know, they come with a central diff locker switch. This one does not. So there's no central diff lock, and we've got something cooking in this one. I'll quickly brief you on that as well. So this one has come from factory with front and rear diff locks as well in some models. This one did not. This did not have any lockers, front or rear. So it was an open diff setup. But what we are doing is the rear differential has been taken from a donor 100 series, and that has a locking diff, the electric locking diff as we normally find in a 100 series. So we've got the wiring loom with it. We'll be rigging up the wiring loom and making a basic on and off switch, which is going to engage the rear diff locker whenever needed. This vehicle with one locking diff should be more than enough. Uh, Rest we'll see as the testing begins. So this vehicle was mainly sold from 98 to 2007. So a lot of different countries, but not as widely as the 100 series. In Australia, I think they stopped selling these in 2002 itself. So the variants in trim models are very different in this. So we've still not been able to exactly understand what trim this was, because it passes through a lot of ownership, so you can't really retain the originality of the vehicle. So this one has something like a semi overland package as well. The seat covers are fabric, the original ones, but it still has a lot of luxury features, like it has power windows, and it has these electronic folding rear view mirrors. So it's kind of a half and half, pretty confusing, but we're still trying to figure out. Around the back, I'll show you something very interesting. Also, it has privacy glass. So if you see, that's not a tint, it's the actual privacy glass that is there. So this vehicle, it has 16-inch alloys. These are the standard alloys for the vehicle. It has, what you see, a swing out rear tire carrier. So it has a tire carrier. The number plate goes on the left. So this is spare number one. The interesting thing is, if you can bring the camera around the lower side, this is spare number two. So it has two spares with matching alloys. So all six alloys are the same. So this is some sort of a setup that Toyota might have offered, because this has two spares. So we've got a total six wheels, and out of which two are spares. Also, there's no split tailgate. I think it's locked. Also, this one doesn't have a barn door. The base variant came with a barn door. So we'll quickly show you around the front, and then we can come to the rear. These decals are there that remind you of a lot of Dubai 100 series. But other than that, it looks pretty standard. The rails are there, the spoiler is there, but you can't really determine if this was a part of the original kit, because a lot of dealers, when they imported, or a lot of people, when they buy the vehicle, they want to add on stuff, and it takes away the originality. So if you can bring the camera around this side, I'll quickly show you the interior as well. So this does need a lot of work on the inside, but there are some very cool features that I would like to show you. So Toyota kind of thought that people might be using a lot of sunglasses. This is the document holder, and it has the double or the triple sunglass holder, and the blinds are very cool. So this, when it goes to the side, you've got another one that comes in the front. So stuff like this is pretty intact. So the vehicle, coming to things like these, is very clean that way. No extra electronics, bare basic AC and heater knobs and switches. These we've done a recent overhaul, so all the electronics are working 10 on 10. This is where the difference is. You see, H2 is too high, H4 is 4 high, then lift and neutral and low 4. So this is completely different. This I believe has been taken from some 100 series by the previous owner. So we'll be doing a new console in the middle, basic center console, no chiller or cooler. So some creature comforts are there, others are missing. So it's like a mix of both. No sunroof, of course. There's no sunroof. The roof liner, I think, has been done once. And the fabric, these are the fabric seat covers. But even underneath, it has fabric seats only. So no leather like the 100 series. And this steering wheel will remind you of the 80 series. So what this has is basically the frame, the chassis from from an 80 series, the engine from an 80 series. Also, the steering rack is from an 80 series. So this is the exact same steering rack. So I'll quickly show you the engine bay. Around the front, this vehicle, when we got it, it came with this bumper. This bull bar is locally fabricated, not to our taste. This will come off. We'll be doing a proper bull bar setup on this one with a winch as well. The idea is to prepare this one as the perfect overlanding rig. We'll be doing a roof rack as well, a proper bumper, a winch setup. The Ironman 2-inch lift kit is on the way with the complete bush set. So as of now, we're just driving this thing around to check for mechanical issues. Also, this came with, I believe that is Chinese or some other brand, the snorkel, but the snorkel is working. So yeah, so this is the engine bay, same huge air filter and very bare bones mechanical. For a vehicle this old, actually the engine bay is pretty clean. So for people who know the 14 or the B series of engines, this looks like a Toyota 13B, 14B. This is the 1.8Z, 4.2, no turbo, nothing. This is an NA motor, makes a lot of power. This is around 129, 130 bhp, enough to keep the thing going. And of course there's no limit to wanting more power, but for the purpose this is very this is very suitable. Actually what happens in vehicles like these, the NA vehicles or the NA engines are very predictable. So whenever you're off-roading or you're traveling, to predict the working of an NA engine is very comfortable. So you don't need to wait for the turbo to spool or anything. So it makes it very driver friendly once you get a hang of it. Otherwise, you'll find people always complaining that an NA engine is slow, but speed isn't everything. So that is where this comes in. Right now, it's running on a on a set of old, almost 33-inch empty Bighorns Maxxis tires. So we probably will upsize these to 34s, 35s, 315, something like that, once the suspension comes in and the stance is clear. Uh, so this is like the initial first look video for this project. I'll keep updating you as we progress with the project, as the parts keep coming in, and we'll definitely in the next few months share what becomes of this one. So if you've got any comments, any suggestions for the project, do let me know. Thank you.